G'day, good morning and Happy New Year. This is Captain Australia. I'll try and keep myself a bit more concise this year, I reckon. The old man rambles. So who am I? I am Captain Australia. But first, before that, I was just this guy called Simon. Now, this fella, I don't know, he lived his life just fork in the road, trying to figure things out, just like everybody else, just like you. And when he was 15, he left a bad domestic situation, escaped it and walked from Brisbane to Sydney, which was a time where he in his young life urgently needed hope. Lived with his grandma who he loved. She died of cancer 2 years later. Fast forward, he's 44 years old, father of three, youngest son is 3, and he's sitting in a doctor's room, white room, lovely doctor, kind eyes, and I hope you can hear me okay. And the doctor says, "I'm sorry." You don't want your doctor telling you he's sorry. So it was a stage 4 head and neck cancer. He prognostically, that's like reading things in entrails, isn't it? The prognosis was that I had 6 months to live, but there was a 40% to 60% chance of either total curative treatment, meaning bang, by cancer, or that it would shrink the tumour enough that surgery might be viable. Because on detection it was in lymph nodes and it was too big for surgery. So, fought that, did my best, fought hard, and in the next 4 years that followed, tried to celebrate a renewed lease on life, move forward and all of that. But I think this parcel of pain and grief and fear, I just sort of wound it into me and I hit it. And I spent 4 years just declining. I used to just call it existential crisis. So I was broken, and I was broke in every sense of the word too. So COVID came along, murdered my travel insurance company. So we're living off the mortgage now. Doing okay though, because I've always been a diligent worker. So we've got the circumstance where I can't figure out how to fix myself. And then I remembered the big walk that I took as a child. And I was going from like a greyness where I felt bereft of hope, and into a light where I felt that I had a viable future, that I could somehow, build a life. And that's what I realized I needed again. I needed that exactly. And from the moment that little piece of hope sparked in me, I was able to breathe life into it, nurture it, and that's how the big walk came to be. It's a new year, new start. This is the 7th day of my big walk. I wanted to take a moment to properly explain it. So, that's how my big walk came to be, and it was really the past empowering the future, I guess. It was inspired by something that I did when I was a boy. And as soon as I decided to do that, I started to heal. That night I walked 3 kilometers. You see, cancer wrecked my thyroid. I gained about 50 kilos, maybe a bit more than that. So in December, I was 140 kilos, massive unit, 3K walk, sore knees, sore back, sore everything. But the next day I did 5. Day after that I did 5. And then when I wanted to stop and have a bath, I said no. And maybe that's where Captain Australia came out, because all this gear is about is saying that I, me, you, we can all lift ourselves up. We can aspire to things, values that might be comic book, or ideas that other people might think are crazy. We can, if it improves us and helps us, we can lift ourselves up. So I guess Captain Australia came out and said, "No, mate, do 10." And I did. And 10 became the new normal, and then 15 and 20. So I've been walking all year pretty much in preparation. I've done some distance walks. Anyway, when I realised that I was going to do some kind of an extravagant walk, I thought, you know what? I could help a charity. And actually, that was like a magical moment. So let me pause for a second because somebody said something. These glasses, $40 glasses bought from a service station, shit themselves already. How terrible is that? Good on you for what you're doing. And great job. Push through. I am. I think after Byron Bay, I'll get some laundry. I'll get some, totally top up my battery power and surge forward, yeah? So if you'll excuse me, sorry, I'll finish what I was saying and I'll let those comments go, but thank you so much. So yeah, the story of it then, I decided to help a charity. And it is like the old Buddhist proverb, kindness is the antidote to suffering, because as soon as I decided to help someone else in some sort of tangible, concrete way, my own healing was amplified dramatically. I was able to wind that into my motivations and move forward. And yeah, the walking became even more intense. And in September of this past year, I started dressing up like this, doing practice walks and so forth. So the idea of the charity component of what I'm doing is that I'm superheroing up for science. So in a way, it's Captain Australia taking a fight to cancer by walking. I don't know. So, you know, it's basically the charity that I chose is called the Kids Cancer Project. You see, I thought about all of the different charities in the world and, you know, how it all works, just the process of it, the overhead for the charities, all of that stuff. Because what I'm doing, not working for the charity, it's great. There is no overhead. You know, there is no cost. Every dollar is straight into the solution. So I had to figure out what to solve. And for me, I couldn't abide seeing children wait for treatment. It's just wrong. It's just mind-bendingly wrong. It's just not okay. Sometimes, you see, normally the adults and children are in separate facilities, but occasionally you see kids, you know, there was a scheduling issue, so they had to be moved over to the adult hospital for a radiation treatment or whatever. And a couple of times it happened to me. Most other people barely notice, but I was gutted by it. One time I've got a chemo drip in my arm, I'm in a wheelchair, they wheel me in, and I've got to get my radiation treatment. All of that's trauma in itself, but there's a little boy sitting there, this little dude, and it's the middle of the day, and the Royal Brisbane and Women's Hospital is opposite the road from an agricultural fair we have, and Happy New Year to you, an agricultural fair that we have called the ECA. And I could see it on this kid's face. It wasn't even about the treatments, which are no doubt nasty for him. He might have been scared of the machine or whatever, but he was sort of, I want to go to the ECA. Now the ECA might have been just anywhere but here also, but a kid should just get to go to the ECA, you know? So that's why I chose the Kids Cancer Project. That's me trying as clearly as I can to explain it. And it really is just about, no child should endure what I had to go through. I can relate to the trauma, the symptoms. I come from trauma, so I guess I have a special empathy for kids who suffer. But every kid should get to go to the bloody ECA, ride a bicycle, whatever it is, you know? It's the injustice of it. So I thought it was a wonderful charity, and I hope you do too. And if you want to support that charity, and I won't ramble on about it, but if you do want to support the charity, there's links in the sticky post. So at the top of the Facebook page, there's a video with a story from the project. In there's a bunch of links. Including, the donation link. So it's like Raisley, Captain Australia's Big Walk. That's managed by them. And every dollar you donate goes into the research to try and improve the situation, where there's 950 Aussie kids every year getting diagnosed, and 3 every week dying, and the ones that survive suffer chronic problems. It's not just them, consider the families around them as well. So that's it. And then there's this last bit, this conversation. Oh yeah, look, that's that's where we are at the moment. We'll just do a little spinny, 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 spinny around. I'm spinning around, move out of my way, something inside. I don't know what the hell's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong with me. I'm getting better, getting a lot better. So that's the third part of it. I mean, in me getting better, what I've found, and thank you so much for coming back to me and your comments and your support. And I've learned from that by showing you concretely that a broken life can be fixed, there are people benefiting from that. That the hope wrapped up in that is something that we can share together. And hope is like that. So when I shared mine with the Kids Cancer Project, it grew, it amplified, and it came back to me. So when we share it with each other, when I tell you my story and you come back with those kind remarks that you make, it amplifies my own healing, and I hope it's useful to at least somebody out there. So yeah, sharing it all is another part. I mean, that sharing part just started morbidly. It was, I gotta do something big, record it, make a big living diary of it, and in that capture the days and the moments and the thoughts, because if the cancer comes back for me, my children will know who I was. They'll know their dad loved them. I had a little sook last night about my wife and kids. Sorry about that. It was not pretty. You could search for that. That said, these days cursed images and scary things are pretty popular on the internet, aren't they? But you could search for, you know, car accident in Guatemala or whatever, and in the top 5 unpretty things on the internet, old man walks down beach sobbing, rambling about his children and wife. I don't know. But I'm all good today. So it's a new year and I'm headed towards Byron Bay. And now that I've completely explained myself, I will leave the stream there and say Happy New Year. I want to end the stream on a daily donor dare of doom. So woven into the process were some ideas, some good, some less than good, but my ethic is try them all, because I'm trying to help a worthy cause, yeah? So the daily donor dares of doom are where kind donors get to supervillain up for science. And what they can do is, in the comment when they make their donation, give me a dare. I got a few overdue ones that I've got to deal with. I think the worst is I've got to go into a pub like this. I'll have the camera a little hidden on my chest or something. Go up to the bar. G'day, mate. I'll have a beer, thank you. No, I won't be paying for it. I am a superhero. How am I supposed to do that, you know? That's not exactly what they put in the dare. They just said, you know, go in a bar and ask for a free beer because you're a superhero. But I think I explicitly meet all of the criteria if I do it that way. Will I get punched in the face? Don't know. Will I get a free beer? Don't know. Maybe they'll donate to the charity. That to me is actually a very possible outcome too, because people have been so profoundly kind. So yeah, daily donor dares of doom. I've got one that I can do right now. The dare was to walk backwards for 1 hour. The problem is I don't have the battery resources to just simply film it for an hour. And when I'm filming it, I can't count time properly. There's no clock on here or whatever. So I have some limitations. So what I'm going to do, just for their shits and giggles, I'll be walking backwards, and I'll do it for a little bit, then I'll kill the stream, and then I'll continue for what feels like an hour, okay? So you have my word of honor. I won't stop until I've done it for an hour, but I'm only going to film the first few minutes, so hang on. Firstly, this is us turning around. Now to you, the ocean might look on the opposite side of where it is. That's because we're doing a selfie. You know, so this is a selfie camera. And, sorry, we'll switch up there. This is handy because I can kind of see where I'm going. Oh, it uses different muscles, doesn't it? Now, if you're curious about it, I'm changing too, like not just mind and spirit, but my body. I'm sure I'm already down a chunk of weight. So I lost a bunch after the chemo radiation thyroid problem, like 50 kilos in 6 months it was. But then I just sort of relaxed my expectations on myself and started eating like a normal human again. But now this constant time on the road, no matter what I eat, I find myself losing weight. Don't go into the ocean, Captain Australia. Now, sorry, this is breakfast, by the way. This may look absolutely disgusting to you, I don't know, but to me, I'm actually looking quite forward to getting in there. So that's a gas station, well, we call them service stations, Captain Australia. What are you, American? That's nothing wrong with Americans. Well, nothing wrong with Americans. That's a service station meat pie called a mega breakfast pie. It's got 34 grams of protein, okay? So that's brekkie, and I'm gonna walk for a couple of hours and then find a place to sit down and nom nom on that. So, sunglasses broken. Bugger. Walking backwards. Bugger. I do need, my other problems are all sort of solved except for the cracked phone screen. I'll sort of get that sorted out at Byron or some other hub. Batteries are not great, but I'll get them charged up. Otherwise, in all practical terms, crap, there we go. See, you need to be up higher, I need to be a bit over here. There's an art to walking in sand. Forget about walking backwards. You live near the beach, I don't. But I've learned there's this point where it's sort of soft and fine, point where it's wet, and there's this point where it's hard packed. And when you've got weight, you need the hard packed, because otherwise you sink in the sand and it makes every step cost you a little bit more. So right now I'm about level 6 in stamina. I need like 13 more XP to level up. But I'm doing okay. And if I'm doing okay, you can be too, you know? So if you're struggling with something and that's part of what's got you here, take something from that, you know? Look at this crazy old fool walking backwards down the beach. What's wrong with him? May not even look to you as though I'm walking backwards. I don't know if you can tell. Hoity hoy, hello up there. For Christmas, can I please have a push bike, an Xbox, nah, PlayStation. I don't like you very much, Bill Gates. I don't know why. You're creepy. I'm sorry. That's just my opinion. I think Bill Gates looks creepy. He thinks I look fat and stupid, so it's reciprocated. Okay, walkity walk. We're allowed to have opinions. Isn't that nice? But we've gotten to a point where we don't share them productively. And I should not throw random hate out into the world, actually. So I'm trying to figure out who I want to be. I don't just want to repair myself, I want to rebuild myself. So I always lean into, I don't know, survival jokes, I suppose. You know, especially if something's a bit awkward, just joke about it. And jokes are good. But, you know, not at the expense of other people. So sorry, Bill. I take it back. You don't look creepy at all, mate. Oh man, I'm going to go in the ocean again. This is going to be hard work, you know. So I might let it go for a while. Now I promise, and no, when I give you a promise, I promise. I'm going to check the clock, pull this down, check the clock, and turn the phone off to save battery. Then I'm just going to walk backward for a bit and then check the time, you know. So I won't stop walking backwards until I've done, we'll say, another 55 minutes. We'll say I've done 5 minutes, and if I've done less than that, oh, give me a break, I'm an old man. So thank you, Happy New Year, good morning, all the best to you. I hope you have a lovely day. Oh, ocean, hello ocean. Oh, and without the phone it's going to be even trickier walking backwards because I can't see what's behind me. Oh, is that the Slender Man? No, it's not. Alright, so good morning, all the best to you. Thank you for your kind interest. And listen, so one thing that if you feel in any way touched by this and you wanted to do something, don't feel bad about donating. If you want to do that and you can do that, that's wonderful, thank you. But the other thing that you can do is you can help the people who are disposed to donate hear about it and know about it. And I'm not just talking about your moneyed up Aunt Gladys or your penny bags Uncle Barry, but like you might have connections to Rotary. I only learned yesterday about Rotary, and this guy was saying, oh, you need to write to every Rotary person. And I'm like, I need to deal with my blisters and find somewhere to sleep. But I want to do a good job for the charity. In my heart, I want to do the best possible job, but I don't have what I need here and in the gadgets and all of that sort of stuff. So if you have connections that you could spread it out to and say, look, this is a worthy cause, this is a, you know, an unusual guy, sell it however you want. But if you have some sort of connection, you might work at a local RSL. I don't know. I'm not outright saying please do that. Don't feel bad. It's okay. It's a bit awkward. It's a bit weird. I'm a bit awkward. I'm a bit weird. But if you feel inspired to, 100% I'm behind you. It's really, we're just helping this massively important charity. So wonderful if you can. Don't worry if you can't. And you're welcome here no matter what. So thanks very much for your time. I got about 55 more minutes of backward walking to do, and I'll check in later at or after Byron Bay. I'm very close to Byron Bay, by the way. I just I didn't want to spend New Year's Eve there. I had a lot of, I was feeling them feelings, you know. I was missing my kids, but I'm much better now, and I'm resolute, and I hope to make a bit of time today as well. All the best.